Hello and welcome to the video. This is a very quick video to explain something that confused a couple of people when I did this video a couple of weeks ago. This was looking at the new Menace RC Pico patch, which has an increased sensitivity over the other one so you can get a longer range. And I talked in there about dB, or the decibel scale, and some people were correcting me quite rightly because it seemed that I was actually talking at odds. But I actually wasn't, because I was talking about the range of a signal rather than power. But what it did prompt me to do was to make this extra little video to kind of explain it so that everyone can understand and hopefully clear up any confusion that I may have caused. So there's a few things to think about before I start getting into the whys and wherefores about dB when it comes to FPV signals, antennas, sensitivity and all that jazz. First thing we need to think about is the decibel scale is actually logarithmic. So it's not that 200 is twice 100, it works in a logarithmic way. But for some things, scientific measurement in particular, it's blooming handy, because by adding things together, you can actually get the results you need rather than having to multiply stuff. Bear with me, I'll kind of hopefully shed a bit more light on that as I go through these couple of slides. So what that means is that if you have the power of a video transmitter and you're measuring it directly, if there is a change of 3 dB in the measured power that you're getting out of that video transmitter, that represents a change of 3 decibels. So if you're looking at two power signals rated in decibels and one is 3 dB more than the other, you know that that's actually twice the power. And it works that you can keep adding 3 dB on to add it up. So for example, if you had a number that was 6 dB more than the previous one, you know that that's actually 4 times the power, or 2 times 2. So if we measured one thing and it was 3 dB and the next thing we looked at was 9 dB, we know that that signal is 4 times more than the 3 dB one we were looking at the original. Following so far? But what it means, those people who don't have that scientific or engineering background, it completely blows their mind because it's so counterintuitive. So very quickly, before I get on to the next slide, the handy thumbnail guide is think of 100 milliwatts as 20 dB. So if we halve that, that means we're half the power, so it's going to be a 3 dB change. It would go down to 17 dBm. And if we doubled 100 milliwatts to 200 milliwatts, the dB value is going to change by 3. So rather than be 20 dBm for 100, it's 23 dBm for 200 milliwatts. Got that? Bit wacky, but bear with me. So why is this useful for the hobby? The danger is that it's very difficult when you don't understand how antenna and radio fundamentals work, is to assume that by doubling the power, you're actually doubling the range. So for example, you might have a 100 milliwatt transmitter on your plane and you want to fly twice the distance. So if you didn't know any better, then you might think that a 200 milliwatt transmitter would be great. It's twice the power, so you're going to get twice the range. But it doesn't work like that, because what's happening is the radio signal is going in all different directions from the antenna and it is dissipating as it goes through the air. So you don't get all of that power equaling distance. So if you had a 100 milliwatt transmitter and you doubled the power to a 200 milliwatt transmitter, that means a change of 3 dBm, then you'd only get about 50% more range. If you actually wanted to fly twice the distance that you were getting with your current setup, you have to quadruple the power, which is a 6 dBm change. So in that case, if you were fine with 100 milliwatts and you wanted to go 4 times that, then you wouldn't go to 200, you'd actually go to 400 milliwatts to travel twice the distance. And this is where I think the confusion came in that video, and I probably wasn't being as clear as I could be. So in FPV, the difference in dBm actually changes the range, and you not only have changes in the dBm of the power that's been transmitted from the antenna, but also how sensitive the receiver makes a big difference as well. So if on the receiver you have a difference of 3 dBm, then that doesn't equate to twice the range. It equates to about 50% of the range. Similarly, if you had an antenna that has 6 dBm difference, then that equates to about twice the range as well. So this is why the dBm scale comes in quite handy. Because if we know the difference of the one antenna over the other in terms of sensitivity, if we know the power difference between the antenna that we had before, all we need to do is add the dBm numbers together and we'll know what the difference in range is actually going to be. And that's what I was talking about in that original video. That's why in that video I was talking about the 3 dBm difference between the new Pico antenna from Menace RC and the original Invader patch only meant that it was 50% more, because what I was talking about was the range, not the all-out power. Now, the really nice thing, Menace RC has just started to publish their graphs for the reception areas of their antennas, not using dBm, which tends to blow everybody's mind, but in actually good old-fashioned meters. So here on the left-hand side, again, I'll put a link in the description to Menace RC website. I hope that other manufacturers do similar things for those who aren't scientifically minded, but hopefully now you can see with this diagram on the left, it's giving you an idea of, with a 25 milliwatt video transmitter, how far you can actually fly in ideal conditions. Again, these are ideal conditions. I take this as a guide, but you can see that the 3 dB difference between the Invader patch and the Pico patch doesn't result in twice the range. It means that rather going out to about 620 meters, you can get out to about 880 meters, which makes a big difference. And again, on the bottom left-hand corner, there is some nice distance multipliers. So if you were using a 100 milliwatt transmitter, what that would do, a 200 milliwatt and a 600 milliwatt. But again, you can see that by doubling the power of the video transmitter, it isn't doubling the range. So hopefully that's interesting for those of you, cleared up a little bit of confusion. And again, big props to Menace RC for actually making these kind of graphs, because then you don't have to try and wrap your head around dBms and what it all means to try and figure out how far you can actually fly. If you found that video useful or like the content, then please hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to go the extra step, you can become a Patreon of the Painless 360 channel and help provide support for what I do here. All the videos created here are put into playlists, so if you're interested in a particular topic, have a look at the playlist, and they all are organised in there to make them easier to use. If you're not sure if there's a video for your particular problem or topic you want to know more about, then add Painless 360 to the Google search term that you're interested in, and that should find the video, article or content about the particular thing that you're interested in having a look at.